Bendiciones, bendiciones, bendiciones. Bienvenidos a el Prophetic Podcast. Espero que la presencia del Señor esté bendiciendo sus vidas de una manera especial. Conmigo pues anda mi amada esposa, que nos da un saludo.
Blessings, bendiciones, shalom a todo.
Amen, amen. Y nos gozamos en el día en esta semana, hablando de Abraham.
Sí, that was a very interesting topic. Very interesting.
¿Y qué te recuerdas del tema?
Well, to me, the biggest impact that gave me the biggest impact was just visualizing the walk between Abraham and Isaac.
Entonces tú dirías que el caminar del sacerdote y el hijo.
Yes. To me, I visualized it like if it was a teaching moment, like a passing on moment between a father and a son.
Sí, porque en ese capítulo, cuando dice en Génesis capítulo 22, dice, aconteció que después de estas cosas que probó Dios a Abraham. Quiere decir que Isaac tuvo que ver a su padre ser probado. Y hay veces que no queremos que nuestros hijos vean cuando nosotros estamos pasando la prueba. Hay veces queremos que nuestros hijos vean solamente cuando están las estrellas y las celebraciones. Pero es en los momentos que somos probados donde realmente le estamos impartiendo a nuestra generación.
That is truly when your child will start learning how to handle a situation, how to conduct himself, because Abraham had to conduct himself a certain way.
Y me llama la atención the pressure, la presión
That Abraham must have
que
felt.
Abraham estaba sintiendo. La ansiedad, the pressure, como su fe estaba siendo llevada a los límites que nunca había sido llevado. Déjame decirte, en este tiempo que estamos viviendo, Dios está llevando a la vieja generación a unos límites de fe que ellos nunca han sido llevados, con el propósito de impartirle a la nueva generación. Porque si esta nueva generación no ve en la prueba de fe, no ve el sacrificio, no ve el precio que la vieja generación ha pagado para ellos, la nueva generación no va a poder resistir el último tiempo o estos tiempos que se aproximan. Por eso es que es tan importante, porque esta impartición vino, número uno, vino el sacerdote. No vino a Sara, vino el sacerdote. El sacerdote tenía que impartirle a su hijo Isaac. Mira lo que hizo. Dios le habla a Abraham. Y Abraham no le habla a Sara. Estoy hablando Biblia. Abraham sabe que si dialoga con Sara, Sara no lo va a dejar. Quiere decir que Dios, a través de Abraham, le está revelando a Isaac. Isaac, van a haber momentos en tu vida que lo que vas a tener que hacer, lo vas a tener que hacer hasta solo. Porque mientras Dios está probando a Abraham, está impartiendo y capacitando a Isaac. Quiere decir que el destino profético está oculto en la vivencia de Abraham. El destino profético de Isaac está oculto en la vivencia de Abraham, que es lo que Isaac está aprendiendo de la vivencia de su padre. Entonces, él no le habla a Sara. Él toma por la mañana y empieza a ejecutar, a hacer lo que tiene que hacer. Pero esto es importante. Porque la promesa la cargaba Abraham. A quien Dios estaba probando era Abraham. Y hay veces que en el matrimonio Dios está probando a uno de ellos y el otro quiere que el otro haga lo que el otro tiene que hacer.
Abraham knew better though.
¿Me estás entendiendo?
Yes.
A quien Dios le habló fue a Abraham. Entonces Abraham era responsable de cumplir con Dios. Sara, a Dios en ese momento no le habló a Sara. Quiere decir que si Dios te llama a un ministerio, tú no puedes esperar que tu esposa o tu esposo cumplan con el ministerio que Dios te llamó. Porque la persona, cada uno es responsable por sí mismo. El cónyuge es la ayuda idónea. Eso se sabe, eso se entiende. Pero hay veces en nuestra vida que Dios le pone en el corazón a uno que haga algo. Y Abraham entendía que si él se lo dialogaba a Sara, no iba a dejarlo hacer. Obviamente, ¿qué madre iba a dejarlo hacer? Va a decir, tú estás loco.
She would have followed him.
Ella sube al monte y se le mete en el medio.
She would have took her son.
Que sí que lo de Abraham solo ahí arriba con cuchillo. ¿Por qué? Porque qué madre no va a intervenir. Eso es obvio.
Yeah, she would say, no te atrevas.
Eso es obvio. Entonces, pero Abraham hace algo que cuando se lleva a Isaac, cuando se lleva a Isaac tiene que experimentar, número uno, pase lo que pase, mi mamá no me puede salvar. ¿Tú crees que Isaac no era el mimado de Sara?
I'm pretty sure.
Isaac era el mimado de Sara. Entonces, Isaac tenía que entender que ni su mamá lo iba a rescatar. Are you following?
Oh yeah, I'm following you.
Y Abraham empieza a caminar y cuando va subiendo y llegando a este monte, también quita a los criados y le dice, quédense aquí. Pero cuando lo hace, le está dando otra impartición a Isaac. Porque Isaac comienza sin su mamá, pero en el camino, la protección que podía salvar a Isaac, Dios se la quita. Llevando a Isaac a un punto donde no puede ser rescatado solamente divinamente. Y hay veces que Dios quita la seguridad, la protección, las cosas que nosotros podemos decir como el plan B. Si algo no funciona, pues esto me salva. Y hay veces que Dios lo quita todo.
The safety net.
Todo safety net de Isaac, Dios lo fue quitando. Le quitó la mamá. Sara se quedó. Siguen caminando. ¿Por qué tú crees que Isaac después dice, espérate, papi, tú acabas de decirle a los criados que se queden aquí? Ahora solamente somos tú y yo. Isaac empieza a tener un presentimiento. Y este presentimiento le dice, papi, aquí está el fuego. Aquí está la leña. ¿Dónde está el sacrificio? Porque ahora Isaac llega a un entendimiento de que algo está por ocurrir. Y a él no va a haber quien lo pueda salvar. Tenemos que entender que la prueba no solamente era para Abraham, sino que la prueba Dios estaba ministrando, capacitando y preparando a Isaac. Porque todo lo que Abraham está caminando a Isaac es Dios preparando a través de su experiencia del Padre y las pruebas del Padre capacitando para impartir al Hijo. Tell me something about that.
No, to keep going. Keep going. You're on a roll. That's good.
Entonces él está impartiendo, el hijo está recibiendo, Dios le quita todo safety net, toda seguridad. Él es ripped out of any other security. Más cuando ve que su padre lo pone en el sacrificio. That's when he gets to the point and to the level as, hey, this is it. This is it. What I thought that could protect me now
It's not there.
is not there. Porque cuando Abraham levanta el cuchillo, Abraham was also a new man. This was a man that it was giving and release to the faith atmosphere in a degree that what he was seeing in the natural was not stopping him. He was beyond gone in faith. He was beyond determined in faith. I'll tell you more. He was not even in the mountain. He was in heaven. He was trusting so badly that he was given in such a faith atmosphere. His faith got to the maximum potential. And when your faith goes to your maximum potential, those peak points, you go beyond limits that you never in your life thought. You see things possible that you never thought in your life you could. To the degree that he's looking at his son and he don't see him dead, he sees him alive. But he's about to kill him. To the degree that he sees his son resurrected. He sees his son already coming down with him.
He saw the end result.
He's seeing the end result because he's remembering the stars. He's remembering the Rema. He's remembering the Rema that God connected him with, that it was going to be to the nations. And he's remembering, this is the one he gave me. So how am I going to get to stars? Oh, that's why there's people listening to us today. They need to understand that it doesn't matter what sacrifice you're going through today. Focus on the stars.
Focus on what God told you.
Exactly, which it was the stars. Focus in the end. Because it doesn't matter what you see today. What matters is what God spoke over your life. What God spoke over your life is where God is taking you. Lo que Dios habló sobre tu vida es a donde Dios te está llevando. No es tu situación, no es tu quebranto ni tu dolor, no es ni tu emoción, no es ni tu duda. Es lo que Dios dijo. Abraham llegó a su máximo potencial en la fe. Él entró en una atmósfera que él nunca había entrado. He tapped into something that he has never experienced. And the only way he was able to tap into it was getting every obstacle out the way. Because Abraham, al dejar a Sara, he was dejando una persona de la que podía intervenir en detenerlo. Después al dejar los criados, él está quitando las otras personas
That could have stopped him.
that could have stopped him. Y esa determinación fue lo que lo hizo a él entrar en una atmósfera de fe como nunca en su vida entera. Es tanto que él está en esa atmósfera que su hijo entra en ella y no lo sabe. De esas atmósferas que Dios mete a los padres espirituales y aún a los padres naturales, que los hijos sin saberlo entran en ella.
But they feel something's
Pero,
happening.
pero they feel something happen. Tell me something about that.
Well, they feel something's happening. And I think it's just the whole thing of Abraham. Let's go back to even the walk.
Amen.
Even going back to the walk, you know, as Isaac did ask a question, he must have felt something's happening. Something's happening. And we could put ourselves in that shoes and trust, like what you were saying, the spiritual fathers. And because sometimes people do have trouble with trusting their spiritual father because the road, the little walk seems scary. You know, I'm pretty sure it felt scary for Isaac, that little walk. At first he was just like going with his father and everything was good, like the beginning of a relationship. But like
as they got closer, it got scarier.
Got closer, he probably was like, wait a minute, but where's the sacrifice? Little did he know. But
he could have been asking, where are you taking me?
Where you taking me?
Y hay veces que hay hijos y hijas espirituales that they don't understand, and they go to the spiritual to the covering of spiritual. Where are you taking me?
I don't understand where you're taking me.
Yo no entiendo qué es lo que está pasando en mi vida. ¿Por qué tú nos estás metiendo por aquí?
But Isaac had to trust his father.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that's what we have to do as we walk. We have to trust our father. Now, what would have happened if Isaac would have just stopped right there when he not trusted his father? He would have never, the plan of God would have never continued on, at least not with him.
So you would say trusting your father, trusting your covering, trusting your pastors.
Well, I believe that God does put, you could say in a way, the calling of a person in the spiritual father or mother. They could see it. And sometimes it's not the right time to tell the spiritual child, you know, who you're going to be or what your calling is. That could scare them.
Imagínate que even when Isaac, cuando Isaac preguntó, where's the sacrifice? You know, there's nothing wrong with the spiritual sons and daughters asking questions. It's normal. But look at the way he responded. He didn't get to all the details of it. He just said, Jehová proveerá.
Abraham already knew. He's seen the done, the end result.
He's seen the done, but Isaac was not ready for it.
He was not ready.
Quiere decir que there is revelation that a spiritual father could walk in, but has to be careful how he expresses it to their spiritual sons and daughters. Jesus said it like this: todavía hay mucho que te quiero dar, pero ustedes no lo pueden comprender.
Isaac would have ran. I would have ran too.
Isaac would have ran down the mountain.
I would have ran too.
Isaac hubiera salido corriendo, hubiera dejado la sandalia y hubiera salido corriendo.
And he probably didn't even sense the fear in his father. Because if he would have sensed the fear in Abraham, I'm pretty sure he would have gotten nervous too.
Oh, that's good.
So Abraham had to walk with a certain confidence while walking with his son.
So, entonces tú me estás diciendo que la confianza y la paz que Abraham cargaba era la que le estaba ministrando a Isaac a estar tranquilo.
Yeah, in the confidence, because Abraham was sure. He was sure that God will provide. God will provide. I'm pretty sure God will provide.
Porque si Isaac ve al padre dudando,
Mm-hmm.
sale corriendo.
Mm. So that tells me that the spiritual fathers do have a important role as well as you're walking. As you
Amen.
walk and listening to the Lord and listening to God to say something that you have never done, do something you have never done before. And it could be scary, but there's a part where the spiritual father has to project a confidence in him, a calmness, a sureness of him, to be able to continue on what God is telling him to do while having their spiritual child under their wing, walking beside them, trusting them that God will provide in whatever situation God is telling them to do. So I think there's a role that spiritual fathers have to take in that, in trusting God, in keeping that calmness, in keeping that confidence in the Lord.
Sí, porque Abraham tiene la revelación, pero la revelación tiene su presión.
It has its pressure.
Revelation also has its pressure, and that's the part that a lot of people forget. They get revelation, they don't realize that revelation also has pressure. So he has the prophetic revelation and the prophetic word in his life, but he has to show his son how to handle the pressure of it.
And how much harder was for Abraham that it was somebody that he loves and waited for so long. That puts a little more pressure on the situation. And that happens a lot to spiritual fathers and mothers where they care a lot or they love the person that they're raising.
You know what's amazing, that he all God wanted, todo lo que Dios quería is to see if he let him go. And I sometimes there's spiritual fathers and spiritual mothers that they don't want to let go. They want to keep them. They feel insecure if you let them go. And God will test you with them. Sometimes ministers get so comfortable, or they get so attached to people. And sometimes God has to present situations to see if they let them go. Because Abraham had to let go. Even though he was designed to his destiny. The Lord wanted to see if he was willing to let him go. What is the thing that God could be testing you and you're trying to hold on to it, and the Lord is telling you, all I want you to do is to trust me and let him go? What is it, the thing that now you have, but the minute God touches it or anybody touches it, you have a nervous breakdown? What is it that paralyzes your whole entire house because you feel that you could protect it with your life, and that if you're present, everything will always be okay? You know, my father protected me and prayed for me, but there was a time that when I was a fugitive, my father had to let me go. The whole time my father was holding on, trying to save me. It came a time that I was out of his hands, and he told the Lord, Lord, he's in your hands. I have to let him go. I can do nothing else. And that is when God said, okay, now I could do this. Because a lot of times, us as spiritual fathers, coverings, parents, we think that we could control and protect to a degree that we literally feel that we could do a better job than God. That we could do a better job than God himself. And it comes a point that the Lord said, could it be that the greatest manifestation of movement of the glory of God, could it be me that is holding it back? Could it be me that I'm sabotaging my next generation's future because I don't let go? Could I be holding on to someone's ministry because I don't let go? Could I be holding on to someone's rema because I don't let go? Oh. What is it that God is knocking at your door saying, give it to me? What is it? Is it a wife? Give it to me. Is it a husband? Give it to me. Is it ministry? Is it money? Give it to me. Is it your children? Because sometimes we could idolatrar our own children. We could idolatrar our own spouse. And God is saying, no, no, no. There's only one place for me, and it's there. Nobody else. I don't share my glory. That's why he said, give me your son, the one you love. Because I want to make sure I'm your only and your first love. Oh. What is it that God is asking you? ¿Qué es lo que Dios te está pidiendo? And you haven't let it go. That is why muchas veces we have people frustrated. And they frustrated because they haven't let go of something. Hay gente que son heridos and they get so mad that they don't want to let it go. They don't want to let it go. They get so angry with themselves that they go, no, I'm not letting it go. They don't realize that they're doing a harm to themselves. What is it that God is telling you? Let it go. That's for somebody. Let it go. Sometimes people study a career because they want it, and then God has something else for them and they don't want to let it go. They have a fight of their life because they want to be the janitor their father was, or they want to be the banker their uncle was. But then God comes and says, well, I want you to be this. And they don't let it go. And they end up literally miserable because they have not let go of something. So what are we telling you today? Whatever that is, let it go.
Let it go.
It's time to let it go. They did this, they did that. Hicieron tantas cosas. But today, you got to let it go. You cannot justify your life and your actions over something you didn't let go. Because at the end of the day, the Lord is dealing with you, is not dealing with them. Oh. The Lord is dealing with Abraham, is not dealing with Sarah. Leave Sarah alone. Don't even blame her for it. God is dealing with you. Dios está trabajando contigo. Oh no, Señor, que mira que Sara, no, que Isaac, que siete. No, 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 no. Dios está trabajando contigo. La cosa es contigo. Let it go. No more justifications. No más excusas. Let it go. Because as long as he is holding on to Isaac, he's literally holding on to the release of the manifestation of the prophetic word. So the prophetic word was there to be released, to seal the covenant of God with Abraham. But he couldn't do it until Abraham let go. Could it be that we ourselves are holding on a manifestation from heaven that cannot be released over my life because I'm holding on to something in this earth? Could it be that I'm holding on to something and the worst enemy is not the devil, it's me?
It's yourself.
Could it be that myself is holding me from myself living my best self? Could it be that myself is holding me and holding hostage my next generation because I don't let go? Ay,
Let go.
santo. Reba seca bocotele rebequete. Abraham was not only holding his destiny, he was holding Isaac's.
In a nation.
He was holding nations. They were all under arrest. And Abraham's bosom. Because Abraham was holding on to Isaac. That's why God said, give me your only son, the one you love. All he's saying is, let him go. Because I can see how attached you are to him. What is it that you're attached to? Ministry? Family? What is it that you so attach? Finances, that when that is touched and is shaken, you totally lose control. And the Lord is telling you, Dios te está diciendo, let it go.
Let it go.
Because you're holding back. Because you're holding back the Rema, the word to be manifested. Because when Abraham let it go, the Bible says, la Biblia dice, y llamó el ángel de Jehová a Abraham por segunda vez desde el cielo y dijo, por mí mismo he jurado, I swear on myself, dice Jehová, por cuanto has hecho eso, si no me has rehusado tu hijo, tu único hijo, de cierto te bendeciré. There's the release. There's the release that it was held back in the atmosphere. There's the release. Ahí está. Ahí está el release que estaba hovering. Estaba hovering en la atmósfera. Era el tiempo de activar eso. De desatarle eso para culminar con el plan. But it couldn't be released hasta que Abraham let it go. Y dice, multiplicaré tu descendencia como las estrellas del cielo, como la arena de la tierra y las orillas del mar, y tu descendencia poseerá las puertas de sus enemigos. Quiere decir que la descendencia poseerá las puertas de sus enemigos. Las conquistas. Toda esta palabra estaba aguantada because Abraham needed to let it go. Y tus simientes serán benditas las naciones de la tierra por cuanto obedeciste mi voz. Y volvió Abraham a sus siervos y se levantaron y fueron ambos juntos a Berseba. Y habitó Abraham en Berseba.
Because he obeyed his voice.
Porque obedeció a la palabra. El Señor te está diciendo hoy, es tiempo de soltarlo. Es tiempo to let it go. Vamos a orar. Padre, en el nombre de Jesús, ayuda a todo el que está escuchando that they cannot let go of something, que no pueden soltar algo. Ayúdalos, Señor, a que ellos suelten aquello que se han aferrado, aquello que se han adueñado y piensan que sin eso no tienen vida, no tienen propósito. Tú eres la vida y tú eres el que das propósitos. Te pido en el nombre poderoso de Jesucristo que tú le des la gracia, la fortaleza y el poder para poder soltar, para poder recibir lo que tú tienes. Cuando Abraham soltó, entonces Abraham recibió. En el nombre poderoso de Jesús. Si quieres cooperar con este ministerio, ahí está la información. Dios te bendiga, Dios te guarde. Nos vemos mañana. Amén.
God bless you.